The Secrets of Movies and TV Shows is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give. You're listening to Coffee and Cinema, part of the Secrets of Movies and TV Shows podcast. I'm Dom Bettinelli, and I'm here with Father Chip Hines.
Good to see you, Dom.
Hi, Father Chip. So we've just come out of the theater, as we do.
As we are wont to do.
As we are wont to do, where we saw the new movie, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
A Fast and Furious movie, I think.
That's right. Something like that.
Yeah. So we just got our coffees over at
Cafe Nero.
Cafe Nero. I have a nice beverage here of iced coffee. And you got a
Cafe au lait.
Cafe au lait. And I'm not sure where my paper straw went. I think it dissolved already.
Where'd you put it?
I think I dropped it.
Oh, boy.
So we're sitting in your car now. So
yeah.
We've tried this a few different ways. We tried it in the shop where people would stare at us as we're talking. And we've tried it in the lobby at the cinema. But the last time we sat in the car and it worked out fine.
It did.
Yeah. So
I think it sounded better, you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually in a more enclosed environment with a little bit more control of the sound. But
that's right.
We still get that immediacy. That's what we're about with Coffee and Cinema, is that immediate feedback on a movie we've seen. Now, speaking of immediacy, it's been a while since people have heard from us.
It is, yeah.
The last time we talked was we did Men in Black International.
Right.
That was a few months ago.
Wasn't it June?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, it's summer. We'll be really busy watching movies. But it turned out, it was not a great summer for movies.
No.
There was only a handful, really, that I was interested in seeing. And you and I were both really busy. We couldn't get our schedules together.
Yeah, we both have busy schedules.
We do. But I think we're committed to this podcast. And
I am.
We're going through this fall. There's some more good movies coming out.
Yep. And we saw previews for some good ones.
Exactly. And the Spider-Man movie, which came out over the summer, which you've seen.
Yes.
I have not. And they've re-released it in an extended edition because they don't have all of our money yet.
That's right. So they need all our money.
So we're gonna try to get to that if we can find a showing of it. That
would be nice. I'd like to see the extended version.
Yeah. So and then at the end of this year, we've got the new Star Wars movie coming.
Yes.
Which we're going to do a special edition of that one. I think we'll go the night it releases. And we'll do it. We'll do it up fun. So because I'm going to be crying at the end of it because it's the end.
I know.
I'll be in tears.
I might cry. It depends.
Yes, especially if the trailer shows Rey has turned, I'll be really sad.
Right.
So, but now we just saw Hobbs and Shaw. We want to talk about the movie, and we're going to give you as usual, our spoiler-free first impressions at first, as best we can, and not that there's much to spoil, but. But we will, and then we'll.
Yeah, you know how it ends.
And then we will follow it up with a warning. We'll say, hey, now we're going to talk some spoilers, and then whatever spoilers we think are, we'll have a spoiled discussion there. So
yes.
So Father Chip, what did you think of the movie?
Well, I like both the actors. I like Dwayne Johnson and I like Jason Statham.
Yep.
And so I always enjoy going to see those guys. And I did like that they brought these particular characters for their own solo movie, because I thought these were characters that kind of could carry a solo movie,
right?
From the Fast and Furious franchise,
right? So Hobbs showed up in, I think, Fast and Furious, I don't know, 4,
something like that,
5, whichever one they were in South America,
right?
Shaw showed up.
I don't remember.
It turns out that he killed one of the guys.
Right.
Like the guy from 2 or 3.
Right.
The guy in Japan, the Tokyo Drift one.
Oh, was that the one?
Yeah. So it turns out, not in the end of that one do we see him kill it, but they come back and they edit it in where he...
I see.
Is really weird.
I haven't seen them all, to be honest with you.
I have not either. I think I've seen 5 of them.
Wow.
I think. So I'd seen the first one.
Okay.
And then I think I caught the second one on cable or something. Right. And then I kind of got the bug, like, I should just finish watching these.
Yeah.
It's not heavy lifting.
It's not heavy lifting. These movies are not exactly, Hamlet. And
I think they should get the Oscar for Best Picture.
yeah. So, what I liked about this movie is that it's kind of nonstop fun.
Right.
You know, there's the interaction between the Hobbs and Shaw characters, which they don't like each other,
right?
Quote unquote.
It's sort of the opposite of a buddy movie.
Yeah, I guess you could call it an anti-buddy movie. But
we're anti-hero movies, anti-buddy movies. Why
exactly. In the end, of course, you know, we know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I like these guys, and I like them in these roles, and I think it's fun to watch them have the interaction of, you know, tearing each other down. You know, the constant back and forth of, you know, I'm gonna kick your butt. Oh yeah, you're dumb. You know, all the things that they say, the juvenile humor that they throw at each other. Yes, and and this one obviously introduced a couple of new characters, right? Which was interesting, and an interesting premise. Right. So I liked the premise of the movie, and you know, I don't think it's a spoiler if I tell the premise. Is that a spoiler?
We could just say that the spoiler that it's the premise is that they've got to recover this virus that got out. Yes. That someone's trying to infect the world with.
Right. There's always a big baddie, right?
And played by Idris Elba, which everyone has seen in the trailers and the commercials.
Right. And
who is awesome.
He's awesome.
Idris Elba is awesome and everything. So
he's another guy I like seeing. And he's been in, and I think interesting to see him in bad guy roles, you know. And interesting, his accent. I'm wondering if his accent in this movie is his real accent or if it's another thing that he puts on.
It sounds like I've heard him with this accent before.
Yeah, I have too. That's why I'm thinking it might be his real accent.
I think it's his real accent.
Which is a little bit less posh English. Yes. It's more of a almost not Cockney, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's lower blue collar.
Blue collar. Very blue collar.
Like Statham, Jason Statham is very blue collar sort of accent.
In a way, yeah. He's more posh though, I think. In my opinion, but anyway, certainly neither one of those guys went to Eton and Oxford. Yes. So anyway, I just like the premise of the movie. I like the idea of the big baddie, you know, played by Idris Elba. I liked the female character, who we'll talk about later. Yep. I liked her a lot. I like that. I've seen that actress in something else. I can't remember what it is. Yeah. And but she looks very, very familiar. And Helen Mirren, I like seeing her, even though it's a very small role.
She must have been in the last one.
She's been in a bunch of them.
In the
Fast and the Furious.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right, because the last one has to have been where. Like I remember seeing the one where Hobbs and Shaw go at it. They talk about they reference a previous encounter.
Right.
But there must have been like the last one which set up what happens at the beginning of this one.
I think so. Yeah. You know, and of course Ryan Reynolds is Locke.
Yeah. Don't spoil the other one yet.
No.
Right.
No.
But Ryan Reynolds shows up again. He was in it previously.
The one we're gonna spoil. I was surprised.
Yes, that was
I did not know he was going to be in this movie,
but it makes sense.
It does.
Yes.
Anyway, and you know, I think seeing the action scenes filmed in London, because there was a point in the movie where they're in London, and I said, "Oh, I've been there."
Right, because you recently went.
I went
last
there.
Year.
Well, I went there in 2017.
Oh, 2 years ago. Wow, already. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, "Oh, I've been there. I've been in that square because it's kind of a famous area." Anyway, so. It was fun. It's a fun movie.
Yes.
We laughed a lot.
So a couple of disclaimers. There's a lot of language.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of locker room humor.
Yes.
Okay. There is a lot of violence.
A lot of violence.
There is fewer cars. There's still some car stuff.
Yeah.
Fewer cars in the Fast and Furious, because Fast and Furious is about cars. This was not about cars per se.
Right.
Less skin, female objectification.
A little bit, but less.
There's still some. Yeah. It's Hollywood after all.
Right.
But there's a lot less of it than in the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, there's more swearing and more locker room
humor.
Stuff.
Locker room. So all of that said. Father Chip is getting a call. All right.
Sorry. Sorry, we're just sitting in my car.
We're sitting in the car. This
nothing I can really do about it.
This is authentic. This is real stuff. This is the real thing. I'll probably get a call on my phone because that's how it goes.
I thought it would be muted. Sorry.
Yeah. So only the music. So
apparently.
But the other thing about this is, like the Fast and Furious movies, it's about family.
Yes.
There's a lot of family in here for all of the major characters. It's about family, the importance of family, the importance of staying connected with family, of protecting family. I mean, this has been a mainstay of the Fast and Furious franchise from the beginning, which is interesting. I mean, we're again, it's not that deep. This is a popcorn movie,
right? But it's a summer movie we saw in September.
Exactly. But it's still nice to see that there is, at least some of this value in there to talk about the importance of family of whatever kind, family in literal blood family, or, but also family-like relationships that we have with people that we're close to, friends, and that sort of thing. So I like that aspect of it. It highlights the importance of family, fathers and daughters, brothers and sisters, mothers and children, brothers and brothers,
grandmother and granddaughter. There's lots of
the whole
family.
thing. And the bad guys, well, they don't have any family.
No.
You notice, there's no relationship,
especially in this one.
Yeah, exactly. In this one, there are no relationships. No, they are all alone. And in this, I think there's some bit of an intentional with the bad guy stands alone, and that's one of the reasons maybe why he's a bad guy.
Well, there's not just that. When you think about it, it's the bad guy stands alone, but it's a commentary. I mean, as much as it can be, it's a hit you over the head commentary about how technology and corporations and things like that can't be surrogates for family. And I think that's an important message too, because it's true. And, I think those things, sometimes we can let that stuff become very important to us.
Right.
When it's not supposed to be your life, it's supposed to enhance your life and make your life better. And in this case, while there's the initial thought that, that the corporation and technology makes life quote unquote better, it's clearly that's not the case. Right.
It's clearly, in the end, without spoiling anything, in the end, it's our connections with one another, our relationships with one another, that wins the day.
Right.
And that's the important aspect.
Exactly.
This is Dom Bettinelli of the StarQuest Production Network, and we need your help. Over the past year, we've grown by leaps and bounds. Some of our podcasts, like Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World, are among the most popular shows we've ever produced, but that success is in danger. Creating a dozen shows has caused our expenses to rise, and right now, we aren't making ends meet. We must reach the financial break-even point if we're going to continue. If our reserves are depleted, we'll have to cut back many of our shows. We might have to shut down entirely. That's why it's crucial we hear from you right now. Please go to sqpn.com/give and click the Become a Patron button to make your monthly pledge. If you're already a supporter, please consider increasing your pledge. The need is urgent, so please go to sqpn.com/give. That's sqpn.com/give. Any other pre-spoiler things we want to say? Do we want to get into the spoilers?
I think we need to get into the spoilers because there's really... we've been talking around it, and I'm not sure how much more I can talk around it.
Okay, so I'm going to count down from 3, and then I'll give for the warning, and then we'll be in a spoiler discussion. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you don't want to be spoiled, pause it here, come back, and finish listening after you've had a chance to see the movie. So 3, 2, 1. All right. So the cameo, it was sort of cameo.
It
was a small role.
Right.
Was for
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart shows up.
Never saw that coming.
Out of the blue. It was so funny.
And he was hysterical.
As he usually is. And he's got that funny connection that with Dwayne Johnson now.
Right.
With The Rock.
It's like they got to be in every movie together.
Yeah. But it was so hilarious. Like ever since they were in that Central Intelligence together, and then they've done Jumanji, and then on social media, they're always going back and forth on each other. It's really funny. And And so in this one, so Hobbs and Shaw on a plane to Russia,
right,
arguing with each other, about to throw down in the plane. And then suddenly Kevin Hart turns around from the seat in front of him as an air marshal.
He's the air marshal. And they pick him right out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're the air marshal. How do you know that?
You're the last one on the plane. You
check everybody out.
And that you wear the golf shirt.
Yeah, and that stupid golf shirt.
And then he's like, I want to be the third guy in your duo. I want to be part of the triad here.
Yeah. And it was fun. And that whole scene took place with Shaw's sister asleep.
Right. She never woke up.
She never woke up during that whole thing.
Or anybody else on the plane. I mean, the Dwayne Johnson does not fly economy.
He can't fly coach.
There's no way he could fit in a coach seat in a plane to Russia.
No.
There's no way.
And he had someone sitting next to him, which was like ridiculous.
And by the way, if that wasn't an American airliner, there's no reason for a U.S. air marshal to be.
That's true.
Going from London to Moscow.
Right. Wouldn't be an American.
There wouldn't be an American air marshal.
That's right.
But I'm not expecting Verison.
Let's forget.
Let's move on from that.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Hart was funny.
Yes. So Idris Elba is this bad guy who Shaw thought he killed, his former comrade, who has been artificially enhanced through technology by this shadowy corporation called the Eaton Corporation, by the way.
Etonia.
A little reference to Eaton.
Yes. Not very subtle.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a shadowy figure who's running this corporation who's always only speaks through a computer with his voice disguised.
Right. And you never see him.
Right. Which we kind of both agreed that at times his voice sounded like Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Who also had a cameo in the movie.
Right. We mentioned it earlier. He plays Locke, the CIA agent who's very funny. And,
and always trying to be buddies with The Rock.
Right.
With Dwayne Johnson's
Hobbs,
character. Yeah. And it was, Ryan Reynolds he's not a huge part of the movie, but he's funny. He
takes over every scene.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those not character actor, but one of those actors who can play characters that are really funny. Yeah. Wise crackers who just, constant motor mouth. I mean, he might as well have been, what's his name there?
He's sort of the present day Robin Williams.
Yeah, in a sense.
I wonder how much of that is.
But he's he's like very Deadpool-y. He's in Deadpool, obviously.
Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Exactly.
He plays the character, but the character is kind of him too.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, those scenes that he's in are funny, and anyway. So I just think that for me, the whole premise of it's what's his name, Shaw's sister who's in trouble.
Right. She's an MI5 agent.
Yeah.
Who intentionally she's been sent with her team to recover this stolen super virus that will destroy the world, et cetera, et cetera. And when Idris Elba's character, Brixton, that's his name,
Brixton,
comes to get it, she injects it in herself so that he doesn't get it.
Right. She injects the pills.
Well, they're like nanobots or something that they will eventually activate. She's got 72 hours before they activate, and she's infected.
Right.
So they're just in her system. And so they have to get it out of her system before
it activates.
The whole and if it activates, the world is destroyed because it goes airborne. You stick her in a cage, she'll die, yes, but we have these kinds of diseases already. We know how to quarantine people.
Well, it was funny that there was two ways of getting the thing, of making sure it didn't destroy the world. One was to extract it from her system, which obviously is what they
number
two. That was the number 2 way. The number 1 way was to burn her.
Yeah, kill her, burn her. Really,
not just burn, like
ashes.
Ashes burn, nothing left.
The scientists kept emphasizing how dead she had to be.
Right. It was funny that he ended up dying, but anyway.
Right.
So that's why there's this urgency to all this. It's like those movies that there's been a movie like that. I think Jason Statham was in it, called Crank.
Well, that's where he was injected with something where if he didn't stop, if his heartbeat fell, he would die. His heart would stop.
Exactly.
I watched 15 minutes of that, and I couldn't watch it anymore.
It's a similar kind of concept.
Yeah.
At any rate. Well, anyway, so I just thought it was fun. It was action oriented. Idris Elba was way over the top as the bad guy. Called himself Black Superman at one point.
He was a bit of a Black Superman. So the final fight scene where they figure out that the only way to defeat him is if they team up.
Right.
And one takes the punch while the other gives the punch.
Exactly.
So only if by working together
as a team,
blah blah blah,
putting their differences aside,
they are able to defeat him. Together we can defeat him. Separately we will fall. But that whole the way they filmed that, where it with the slow motion punching and all the brutal it was fascinating to figure out how they did that. It must have been CGI. It had to be.
I'm thinking there was some CGI to it, obviously.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of this is going to be a kind of a non sequitur, but why was it only raining there?
Well, you could see the storm coming,
but it was only raining there where they were fighting.
Right.
It wasn't raining where everybody else was.
Well,
did you notice that?
Well, they were driving toward the storm at the end there. And I mean, it was just made me laugh. It was over the top raining there.
Right.
It was like, it wasn't just like, oh, here comes the rain. Oh, it's a little rain. It was like, okay, we turn the corner and we're in Hurricane Dorian.
Yeah, exactly.
It was ridiculous. Pouring. It was kind of crazy.
But I think, for a fun action movie,
right? This
is fun. I mean, you don't take your kids to see this movie.
Yeah, a teen, like a 16-year-old, maybe.
Right. I'd say 16 and up.
Again, there's no sex in it.
There really isn't.
There's no nudity, unless you count like The Rock's bare chest, which
I don't.
But for some female viewers, that might be a little much.
It might be.
But I like the whole Samoan thing that they brought into it. I like the and that was in the trailers. So that's not really even a spoiler, but the Samoan family aspect to it.
Yep.
And just they figured out a way to take the guns out of the hands of the bad guys. They deactivate them, right? And so there has to be this hand-to-hand Samoan style fighting,
right?
Which was pretty cool.
It was. I liked it. I liked that. I liked I mean, obviously, what's his name? Shaw is an expert driver, and they always have to kind of have that kind of.
They had an amazing stunt when they took the McLaren under the two trucks going in opposite directions.
Amazing.
That was a wild stunt.
Amazing. I think we both were like, "Oh my gosh!"
and really, I really hope that was real and not CGI. It looked real.
It looked real.
Yeah. The motorcycle didn't look real.
The motorcycle was not real. That was a CG. No motorcycle can do what that motorcycle did.
Right.
Totally CGI.
But going under the truck where he did that, I don't think they would have done that.
No, probably not. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's over the top.
Yeah.
I like how they kept focusing, like they showed, like right before that scene, they did a few quick cuts, and the McLaren badge was one of the cuts. Like,
yes.
By the way, folks, this is a McLaren. I thought it was awesome.
Paul,
the product placement.
McLarens are awesome cars.
Yes, well, it's an awesome British car.
It is.
It's a $200,000 supercar.
It's a supercar, and it's awesome. It's really they make.
And they did
awesome
terrible
cars.
things to that car.
They really did. It was funny. It was kind of limping at the end there.
Yeah.
But I think that chase scene through London was amazing, and I think obviously they, as a movie, it's choreographed, but still, it was fun. It didn't look choreographed, except for that one scene where that one stunt.
Right.
I mean, it had to be. I mean, if that stunt wasn't choreographed, well, people would die.
Right. It's so good that they make it look like they didn't prepare for it.
Right.
It looked
exactly.
It looked off the cuff. So a lot of laugh out loud laughs.
Yes.
I mean, you and I,
we were laughing.
We were laughing out loud throughout the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of funny moments.
Yep.
When they're the Hobbs and Shaw are going through the two hallways with the glass window, the window between them.
That was so funny.
And Shaw's has his hallway has like 7 guys in it
that he has to beat up.
And Hobbs has this one guy who's like
massive, taller than the Rock.
Taller than the Rock. This guy had to be like 7-something feet tall, and then he just punches him and down he goes.
Yeah, he went down,
and he drags him down. And while he's waiting for Shaw to finish up on his side, he's doing push-ups. He's yawning.
Well, the funny thing was they couldn't. Obviously, they had to have the person's face.
Right. It was facial recognition on both sides at the same time.
Yes.
For some stupid, reason.
Right.
For the plot reasons.
Right. So the guys on Shaw's side, only one of those guys
out of the 7
or 8 guys that were there had the code on his face. So he's going through all of them, and of course it was the last
guy.
one.
Of course.
Which was so funny because it's always the last one.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what made it real. It's always the last one you look for.
Exactly.
It's always the last bad guy who's got the facial recognition.
Last bad guy. It's the last. It's the last suitcase you look in. It's the last room you look in. Everything. So anyway, it was funny, and it was funny watching the reaction on the bad guy's face when he gets hit by the rock, and he just goes down like a pile of bricks. Yeah. Oh, it was so funny.
How do you stab a guy with a brick?
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of runs through the whole the whole movie. Yeah, that's funny, and and then just I thought that Shaw's sister was it Hattie?
Hattie, yeah.
Hattie had a lot. She had some stuff going on in the movie that it wasn't just those two guys.
Right.
She was obviously very important to the plot.
And competent, capable.
Very capable.
Was not just arm candy.
No. And the funny part was, though, at the beginning when they're doing this when they're trying to get all this together, and he tells Hobbs, you can't come. You're not coming. And he's like, you think that I want to come because I want to be with your sister? Is that what you think?
Right. Yeah.
It was so funny.
And Shaw's like, yeah. Most of the reason.
That's mostly why I think that. Yes. But anyway,
there were a couple things. They had some downtime moments, like the whole we have to now contemplate what's going on, and, and blah blah blah, dragging out, that sort of thing. So there's the obligatory montage sequence with music playing over them, doing stuff to prepare for the final battle. I mean, it's all the standards. There's nothing innovative in here. There's nothing. They do set up.
Kevin Hart was the most innovative part of the whole thing.
He was. They set up the sequel. There's an obvious sequel here. We don't get a reveal of the big bad guy.
No, we do not.
The faceless voice on the computer.
Right.
So that's obviously a sequel. He says he's someone that Hobbs knows from his past. So who knows? Could be the Ryan Reynolds character, or maybe someone else. Could be Dominic from Fast and Furious.
Who knows? Yeah, I couldn't.
It could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
So, or a new character. So
yeah.
I say I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I did.
I enjoyed it. I thought it's just it was a nice, fun.
Right. It's not hot cinema. It's not. And it has its problems, but in general, I think it was a lot of fun. Stick around to the end of the credits. There's like four post-credit scenes. Like there's like 3 sprinkled throughout the credits, and then just when you think, okay, this is going on so long that there's no way there's another scene, there's another scene.
There's another scene
at the very
now. I will say this for our friends that are listening: you don't have to stay for that 4th one if you don't want to.
Right.
It's not integral to anything.
Everyone who's listening's probably seen it, and if you've gone to see it and you're like, I didn't stay.
Right.
It's not.
You didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss. It's
funny.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds making a few more jokes.
Right.
It's not super important.
No.
Watch it on the streaming or whatever.
But it does bring back the stab a guy with a brick.
It does bring that stab a guy. So we'll wrap it up here, and we'll say. So I wanted, before we finish, take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create Coffee and Cinema. And today we're thanking Colin M, Ann S, Karen S, Whitney B, and Maritza A. Through their generous donations at sqpn.com/give. They make it possible for us to continue the Coffee and Cinema and all the shows at sqpn.com. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. So if you have not yet subscribed to the show, please do so in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, your favorite podcast app, or on the SQPN YouTube channel, where you should hit the bell to get notifications. The show title you're going to look for is Secrets of Movies and TV Shows. That's the title in there. And this is a subset of that podcast series.
There you go.
And please share the podcast with your friends. If you think of anybody else who'd be interested in hearing a couple of guys talking about some movies that you may not hear about in other Catholic movie podcasts.
That's true.
That's kind of what we're doing.
Exactly.
So a lot of fun there. And so that's it from us. What did you think of Hobbs and Shaw if you had a chance to see it? Let us know by visiting sqpn.com/secrets or the StarQuest Facebook page at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, or send us an email to secrets@sqpn.com. Until next time, Father Chip Hines, thank you for joining me for Coffee and Cinema.
Thank you, Dom.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to the Secrets of Movies and TV Shows on StarQuest.